Well, as part of a nationwide drive to shore up the economy, Korea has vowed to carry out a wave of tough reforms, and that includes fostering new industries and restructuring the old ones. Now, this as the country faces its traditional growth engines lose steam, slowing the overall pace of economic growth. For more on the government's policy direction aimed at breathing new life into the slumbering economy, our Hwang Ji-hye joins me in the studio. Now, Jihye, boosting investment and promoting new industries, that's been an issue for quite some time now. So what's new?
What the government announced today during an economy-related ministers' meeting is the country's economic policy blueprint to tackle issue long brought up by economists. They're completing the structural reforms in the 4 sectors and shifting the country's industrial sector to the next level through corporate restructuring and investment. So while the economic team led by the former finance minister Choi Kyung-hwan focused on boosting the demand side through expansionary fiscal and monetary policies, the third economic team led by finance minister Yoo Il-ho is focusing on the supply side to wiggle out of low growth woes of continuing to expand below 3%.
Jihye, much of the spotlight today is on the government's so-called industrial reform push, I should say. What are we expecting regarding that?
Well, the government pledged to grant the highest level of tax credits of up to 30% on research and development investments that companies make in new industries. While exactly which sectors those are will be decided within the first half of this year, they're likely to involve the Internet of Things, new energy projects, and smart cars. It also established a new tax credit of up to 10% on facilities investment if the money are poured to commercialize new technology. The government is set to offer greater tax credits in other service-related industries as well, like the cultural content sector, and plans to support high-risk new industries by running a fund worth around 1 trillion won, or roughly $870 million. Now, another government fund operated by state-run banks worth around $70 billion will provide cheap loans for investments in information and communications technology sector, but in all these measures, some experts say they are more supplementary than fundamental.
The government has drawn up a financial and taxation support package, but the question is whether this is enough to draw out good players in the market. Will these aid programs encourage companies to jump in and give it their all? That's where we still see the unknowns.
Jihye, of course, another pillar regarding this industrial reform is restructuring the ailing sectors. The government unveiled a whole list of measures to do just that earlier this week. Is there anything new apart from what we already know?
Not really. The government is aiming to move forward with the measures they've announced, and that is restructuring the country's old growth engines, such as shipbuilding, shipping, and construction, that have been posting eye-watering losses and in turn dragging down the country's overall recovery momentum. The finance minister today, however, once again emphasized the government's will to push ahead with the restructuring that is widely expected to face strong opposition from the labor sector due to inevitable job losses in the process.
My team and I will swiftly carry out corporate restructuring to surgically remove the troubled areas and revive the economy with every ounce of energy we have as the times demand.
Now, still, Jihye, a market expectation is that there will be some kind of an additional stimulus as the nation faces feeble economic growth momentum. Now, any government plans to boost this, even if it's short term?
As for now, we haven't heard any details on the possibility of an extra budget, and many experts forecast that doing so this year will not be easy with the new 20th National Assembly being sworn in late May. They're saying winning parliamentary approval is not going to be easy for the supplementary budget within this year. And to better support the reform drive, however, the government did lay out plans to front-load roughly $5.7 billion more of its budget in the first half of this year.
So more like a mini stimulus, I should say.
Exactly.
All right, Jihye, thank you so much for that report.
Thanks for having me.